Okay, so in this video, I'll show you exactly how to start an LLC in Texas in just 9 easy steps. I'll cover how to use a service that does pretty much everything for you, and that's exactly how I set up my own LLC. You'll also learn about some really important things that you need to do after your LLC is set up. Now, I've noticed a lot of videos like this skip over those things, just to try to keep the video short. However, I want to make sure that you're fully informed and cover everything that I would personally want to know if I were you. Let's go ahead and get started with step number 1. Choose a unique name for your LLC. Now, this step is extremely important because business name issues are the main reason why LLCs get rejected in the state of Texas. So first, you must have limited liability company, limited company, LTD co, LLC, or LC at the end of your name. You should also avoid using names that would indicate you're associated with a government agency or a financial institution. That would include words like agency, commission, bureau, bank, trust, and similar words to that as well. And something really easy that you can do is you can actually head over to Google. So let's go there real quick. And then from Google, we could type in what words are prohibited in Texas LLC names. So go ahead and type this in right here, hit enter, and you can see the AI overview basically tells you exactly what I told you. It gives you a bunch of prohibited words. Here you can see financial institutions, you can see government affiliation down here, and this gives you a good, baseline of words that you do not want to include in your LLC name. If you include anything like this in here, college, university, lotto, lottery, war, pretty much any word through here, your LLC is probably going to get rejected. So you don't want to waste your time. You need to know about this before you get started and, choose a unique name for your LLC. Your LLC name also needs to be unique and not too similar to other existing names. And I'll show you a good way that you can search for existing names to make sure that yours isn't too similar, so you won't be rejected as well. It's really easy to do. And one other thing you can do if, let's say you have no idea what you want your business name to be, you're still in the brainstorming process trying to figure it out, you can use ChatGPT to, easily come up with a huge list of business names that makes it so easy. And let me show you an example of how you can do that really quick. Okay, so this is the free version of ChatGPT if you just want to try it out. I personally pay for the pro version for my business, and I use it every single day. But for example, let's say you're trying to come up with an LLC name and, you're in the tech industry, for example. So we can type something in like this right here. Give me a list of 10 LLC name ideas for my business that's in the tech industry. And let's go ahead and press enter. And there we go. We have 10 different names that we could potentially use for an LLC that's in the tech industry. If you don't like any of these, you could say, simply give me another list of 10 different names. And you can keep going through that process, keep going through it until you find some you like, narrow down the list, choose one, and then next you'll have to make sure that it's unique, that no other business has been formed in Texas with that LLC name. And let me go ahead and show you how to do that, because that will be the next step after you choose a name for your business. And before we do that, I want to mention one more thing. I would take it a step further. So, let's say you like this right here, Cloud Sync Systems LLC. What I would also do is make sure the domain is available as well, so you can build a website for your business, which is extremely important. The web hosting platform that I personally use, I recommend the most. I have tons of videos on my channel for it. I have a complete WordPress course that I just created. It's like 4 hours long. It'll show you exactly how to build out a website. Let's go ahead and go to Hostinger, and I'll show you really quick how you can, search for one of these domain names. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up a new tab, and let's type in this, Hostinger domain name search. Here it is right here. And this is it. Okay, so we're going to take that LLC name from here. We're going to copy it, come over here, paste it in. We don't really need LLC on the end of it. So if we were creating the website, it would probably be this right here. So let's go ahead and do search. Okay, that looks great. You can see right here, cloudsyncsystems.com is available, and we can go ahead and purchase it. Okay, so we got 2 things checked off so far when choosing a name. We found a name that we like a lot for our LLC, and the domain name is also available as well, which is great. So again, whenever you do want to build out your website, I have that 4-hour course on my channel that's going to show you exactly how to build a website for your business. And that's what I would recommend watching whenever you finish this video. But anyway, now you need to know how to make sure that your LLC name isn't already taken by some other business registered in Texas. So let's go ahead and open a new tab. And you can type in something like this right here, really simple. Texas LLC name search. Okay, and if we scroll down, you could actually probably get there from here. But here's a good link, SOS Direct. This is what we want to go to. Okay, so first, what I would highly recommend, anytime you go to a website like this, make sure you're on the right website. So just go to the URL at the top, make sure it's secured, and make sure you see the actual, web address that you should be on here. And this is the correct one. So this is the best way that you could actually search for LLC names. It's the best way to do it, straight from the Texas Secretary of State website. Now to do it, you're simply going to click on Enter Site right here. So to search this website, you do have to get signed up on it and have an account. Now, if you don't want to go ahead and request an account, if you just want to do the search first, you can request a temporary login, which you can see right here. You would simply click on this hyperlink, fill these details out here. So you don't have to put your business name because you're, searching for a business name. You can type in your last name, first name, everything right here, click continue. Then you have to give them a credit card. Now, the purpose of the credit card is to basically validate who you are and also keep things secure on the website. Now, they're only going to charge you $1, and that $1 fee is also going to be refunded to you within 24 hours. So you simply pay $1 to do the search, and you're going to get the $1 back. It's really easy. So I'm not going to go through this entire process in this video, but that's all you have to do. Fill this form out here, enter your credit card details on the next screen when you click continue, and then you can actually search this website for your LLC. So you would simply take your LLC name, which we were going to look for this one right here, copy it, and once you get in here and you can do the search, paste your name in, type it in, do the search, make sure that it either, A, doesn't exist at all yet, or B, isn't too similar to some other name. So if there was another name that said like Cloud Sync Systems and then maybe some other abbreviation or short name, that might be too close to another name since there's 2 words in the name that's being used. So just keep that in mind. Make sure it's unique because you don't want to get rejected. And something else that's really important to mention, if we go back over here, whenever you fill all this information out and then pay the $1 fee, it could take up to an hour for you to get your login information, which is going to be your SOS Direct user ID. I think it's like a number, and you also get a password as well. So just keep that in mind. It could take up to an hour, and whatever email address that you fill out here, that's where the information is going to get sent to. So that's really important for you to remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step and form the LLC. This is the best part of the entire video. So in this step, we're going to designate a registered agent. We're going to file the certificate of formation, and we're going to obtain your employer identification number, which is also called the tax ID or EIN. And don't worry, because this step is going to be extremely easy. We're going to use an LLC formation service to do everything for us. It's going to be way easier, take less time, and it's going to help us do things the right way as well. Okay, so go ahead and click on the first link down below in the description, or you can go to JOSHBURNSTECH.com/Northwest. So let's go ahead and go here now. So I want to let you know that if you do decide to use my link, that is my affiliate link. I'm partnered with Northwest. So if you use my link, you'll be helping support my channel, which I greatly appreciate. And it doesn't cost you anything at all to use it. Thank you so much. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and click right here where it says, let's get you started. Okay, so on this page here, the first thing we need to do, obviously, is select LLC for our business type. So you have a couple of other options here. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be setting up an LLC. So we're going to be setting up a single member LLC, which is exactly what my business is as well. Now you do have two other options for corporation and nonprofit corporation. This doesn't relate to this video. I'm not going to get into these. So if you fall into one of these two categories here, which you can click on the question mark to read about it and figure out if this is what your business is. This isn't going to be the purpose of this video. We are going to be setting up an LLC, which again is the topic of this video. So as long as you're setting up an LLC, we're good to go. So make sure this is selected right here. And then obviously the next step is to select your state. And for this video, we're going to be doing Texas. So let's scroll down here until we find Texas. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see here, it's going to be $310 to file in Texas. Now, this is not a Northwest fee. This is a state fee that you have to pay regardless, no matter what service you use. But if you were to do this yourself on the Texas Secretary of State website, you're still going to be paying close to $310 because there is a, service fee for paying with a debit or credit card, which would probably put you around maybe $308. So it's going to be close to $310 no matter what formation service you use, no matter if you do it yourself. This right here is a state fee that you have to pay. And as you can see over here on the right hand side, this is the Northwest fee, the basic package. It's $39. It's a flat rate. That's all you're going to pay to use Northwest. And again, I think they're the best LLC formation service that's available. I've tried most of them. And again, Northwest has the best customer service. You can call them anytime. Look right here. They have a number right here you can call with any questions that you have when you're going through the LLC setup. After you get signed up, if you need help from them on anything, you can also do email support. They're phenomenal. And the other thing that differentiates Northwest from other LLC formation services is that their call center is based in the US. So if you call Northwest, you're going to be talking to someone in the United States. They don't outsource to another country to save money, which I think is great, and they're the only LLC formation service that does that. And also with the basic package, you get the registered agent completely free for 1 year. And then after the first year, I think it's $125 per year for the registered agent, which again is well worth it. It's one of the best prices that you're going to find out of all the LLC formation services. So the reason that you need a registered agent and why it's required to actually set up an LLC, no matter, what service you use or if you do it yourself, you still have to, be your own registered agent, or you would have to use someone else to be it. And the purpose of it is to basically keep your business organized and in compliance with legal obligations as well. So if you use Northwest, what they're going to do is they are going to be responsible for receiving all of your important legal documents on behalf of your business. And again, if you were to set up this LLC yourself, you would have to use someone to be your registered agent. It could be someone that but they have to reside in Texas. Like they have to have an actual address that's in Texas. And one of the benefits of using Northwest is that you actually get to use one of their office addresses within Texas, which is great because you don't have to put your, home address as the registered agent. So it helps you keep that level of privacy. And you also get to use an actual address for Northwest. So it's great. And that's just something to keep in mind. No matter who that you use to be your registered agent, if you don't use Northwest, if you, even use a family member, they have to have a physical address in Texas, or they have to be an entity authorized to conduct business in Texas. And something else I like a lot about Northwest is that they are the only national registered agent that lets you use their own office, like I just mentioned. You get to use Northwest's own address on state records to minimize your exposure, so you don't have to list your home address, which is really good. And then over here, you can also see there is a compliance filing option as well, which is going to be free for the first year. And if you click on the question mark, you can kind of see what it means. This is basically the annual report that every LLC is required to file. So, if you live in Texas, you're going to be required to file an annual report every year about your LLC. We'll get into the reports that your responsible for submitting each year later in this video. I'll go through those and make sure you're fully aware of them. But this is something you have to fill out each year. So if you decide to use Northwest, it's going to be $100 per year to, have them do this for you. So if you want to be completely hands-off, not have to do any of this yourself, then you can pay Northwest to do it for you. However, you can do this yourself. It's going to be way cheaper. You would have to do it, on the Texas Secretary of State website. You would have to have an SOS Direct account, which we looked at earlier when we were choosing our LLC name. So it's included with the basic package. However, after you get signed up, if you don't want it, you can simply cancel it in your account and you won't get charged. And then last on this tab here, if you scroll down, you can see we have the BOI Beneficial Ownership Information Report as well. So if you select this toggle option here to turn it on, then it's going to be $25 to have Northwest do this for you, which is really cheap because I've looked at this on other LLC formation services and they charge a lot more than $25. Now, if you do this yourself, you don't have to pay anything to file it. However, you need to make sure that you fill everything in right. But if you're not sure how to do it yourself, if you start filling it out and you have a lot of questions, then again, you probably would be better off paying Northwest to do it for you. So let's open up a new tab and let's type in BOI report. Okay, so let's scroll down here. We can select this option right here. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's extremely important to make sure you're on the right website. So check the URL, make sure you're going to the right place. This right here is the correct URL. Make sure you're not on some website where someone's going to try to scam you or something. And then to file it online, you would simply come down here and you can see this file option right here. And it says file a report using the BOI e-filing system. So you would click on that right here. And then right over here, you can see BOI reporting, get started. You would click this. And then if you scroll down, you can see right here, file online BOIR. This is what you would want to click. I agree. And then you would want to go through the process of filling all of this information out about your business. So again, if you start going through this process and you're like, okay, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, and you have questions, I know that I personally did not do this myself, but if you're comfortable doing it, go ahead. If not, you can simply pay Northwest $25 and they're going to help you do it the right way. So anyway, that's everything on this page here. I'll go ahead and leave this selected and we can click continue. Okay, so on the company tab, the first thing you need to do is type the name of your business in right here. So as an example, I'm simply going to type in Tech Post Central LLC. So whatever the name is of your LLC, which you decided back in the first step of this video, go ahead and type that in right here. Okay, so the next option here, if you have an attorney or a lawyer that you've worked with in the past, you can change this and choose, the option to send them notices of any legal things that get sent your way. So if you have an attorney, you can do yes and put their email address here. If you don't have an attorney, simply leave it selected as no. Okay, so next up, you simply need to type in the business purpose of your business. So this is going to be whatever your business does. What is the purpose of it? And to give you an example, so it's going to relate to Tech Post Central LLC, which is my name. What I would do is simply put something like this right here. To create and publish informative content, including reviews, guides, tutorials, focusing on technology products. So the purpose of this business here would be to create, blog posts, guides, tutorials on different tech products. And this is an example of writing out the business purpose for that. So if you, don't know what to type in here or you're struggling to come up with something, again, go to ChatGPT, tell it what you want to do. You need a business purpose for your business. Put the name of your business in, describe, what your business is going to do, and it can generate a business purpose for you. Okay, so once you have that here, next up is going to be the registered agent. Again, I would highly recommend using Northwest as your registered agent. And the benefit of doing that is you can use their registered agent address. So again, if you don't use Northwest, you would have to specify your mailing address, which would be your home address, or, whoever you're going to use as your registered agent, you would have to put their Texas address here. So again, using Northwest helps keep things secure. It's going to keep your, home address off of the different filings. So I would definitely recommend leaving this option selected here. And same thing with the next option. I would highly recommend using Northwest just to keep your address private. But you do have the option to use your address or a different address here. However, again, I would definitely use Northwest. That's what I would select. Okay, so that is everything on this tab, and we can go ahead and click continue. Okay, so on the management tab, this is where we need to specify what type of management we're going to have for our LLC. So you have two options here. You have member managed and you have manager managed. So member managed is probably what most of you are going to select. If you're doing a single member LLC, like you're the only member of your LLC, you're the sole owner, this is what you would want to select, would be member managed. However, if you have more than one member of your LLC, then you might want to select manager managed. And the difference between these two is if you select manager managed, then you're basically going to be appointing someone to handle most of the management responsibilities of your LLC. So if you have a member of your LLC that wants to be more hands-off with decisions, they don't want to really be involved with those, then this would be a good option for you to have manager managed. And if you're still not sure which one to select, you can simply click this question mark button right here, and it's going to go into way more detail telling you, exactly what each of them mean, and this will help you make the right decision. So for the purpose of this video, we're doing a single member LLC, so I'm going to leave this one selected right here. And you simply need to type in your member name. I'll simply type my name in right here. There we go. And again, we will go ahead and use Northwest registered agent address again. Okay, so that's everything on this tab. We can go ahead and click continue. Okay, so now I need to enter my contact details. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. Do the same thing yourself. Put your name, everything in here. This is going to be your address. So go ahead and fill this information out and then click continue. Okay, so next up on account setup, all you need to do here is type in your email address and then type in a password as well. Now, I strongly recommend that you make this a strong password and then also stored somewhere securely as well. Now, what I personally do is I use NordPass. I use NordPass to create really strong passwords like 18 plus characters long with a bunch of random numbers, special characters, all that good stuff. And then I store it securely in NordPass as well. So if you're interested in using something like NordPass to securely store your passwords and also create, really strong random passwords, I have a complete tutorial on my channel, and you can go watch that video and it will show you how to set up NordPass and how to, store really important passwords like this one is for your LLC. So again, don't use a password that you've used a million times. You want to use something that is completely new, random, and very secure. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out and then click continue. Okay, so next up, Northwest also offers something called a business identity package, which has a bunch of options in it. So if we scroll down here to take a look at it, with the business identity package, you're going to get a secure website hosted by Northwest. So this will help you build a website for your business. I believe they create a simple 3-page website for you with a home page, about page, and contact page. You also get up to 10 business emails that you can create as well for your business. And you can also get a business phone number and service as well. So if you want a phone number for your business that's not your personal cell phone, you can actually use this service here and have your own business phone number that's going to get forwarded to whatever number you want to use. So if you decide to use the bundle and save option right here, then you're going to get these services free for 90 days. And you can also cancel these at any time as well. And then if you decide to use these past the, 90-day free trial, each of these services will be $9 per month. So you're looking at about $36 per month if you decide to use all 4 services right here. Now, the great thing about Northwest is that you can individually choose which ones that you want. So, let's say you only want the phone service, then you're only going to be paying $9 a month if you use it past the 90-day trial. You don't have to select every option here. So again, for the business domain, which is going to be your website, which is going to be, basically yourbusinessname.com as your domain, and then your website as well. Again, I would rather use Hostinger for that. And again, I have that complete tutorial that's going to show you how to set up a website for your business. I would recommend watching it after you finish this video. So in my opinion, I wouldn't select any of these 3 options right here because we can do all of these on Hostinger. And Hostinger is an actual web hosting company. is what they specialize in. That's why I would rather use Hostinger than Northwest. However, if you are someone that likes to have everything in one place, then, you might want to consider using all of these options here. If you want to have your domain, website, email, phone service, everything at Northwest, then it could be a good option for you. So the only one I'm going to leave selected is this phone service. And if you have any questions about these, again, you can simply click on this little icon right here. It's going to tell you exactly what each of these services do. And you can also see right here that it's going to be $9 a month after the free trial, and you can cancel at any time. Okay, so that's everything on this tab, and we can go ahead and click continue. Okay, so now on the optional items tab, we have some really important information here that we need to go through. So the first thing is the tax ID, which is going to be your EIN. Now, this is something you have to get whenever you create an LLC. You need your tax ID and EIN. It's very important for your business. It's basically the social security number for your business. That's how you can think of it. It's going to be a 9-digit number that's going to have a dash after the first 2 numbers. So you can simply use Northwest to get this for you, and you're only going to have to pay $50 if you have a social security number. If you don't have a social, it's going to be $200, but most of you are probably going to have a social, so you're going to pay $50 to use Northwest to get your tax ID or your EIN, which is called your employer identification number. And Northwest will take care of all the paperwork and everything that you have to do with the IRS to get this number. However, if you want to save $50, then you can actually get the tax ID or EIN from the IRS for free yourself. But first, you will need to wait until after you get confirmation that your LLC name and formation have been approved. So you'll have to go through the process of filing for your LLC, this process we're going through right now with Northwest, and then you'll have to wait until it gets approved by Texas before you can, get the tax ID or EIN yourself. But after you do have confirmation, then you can simply head to the federal government's IRS application portal and then fill out an online form. And this is what the website actually looks like. Now again, it's really important to make sure you're on the right IRS website. Come up here to the top. I've mentioned this in the video multiple times, but it's extremely important. But anyway, you can see right here, get an EIN, and you would simply go through this process of applying for an EIN, and it doesn't take that long. You can see it takes minutes. Now, if you want to have Northwest do it all for you, which is personally what I would do, so it's hands off and I don't have to mess with it, then you can simply pay $50 and Northwest will handle it for you. So next up, you also have an option for S-Corp election with the IRS, which is going to be $100 to have Northwest do this for you. If your LLC or your business is making at least $60,000 a year or more, or you anticipate that you're going to at least make $60,000 a year, then this option right here might be something that's good for you. So essentially what you can do is potentially, you might be able to save some money on self-employment taxes if you use S-Corp election. Now, it's not as simple as it sounds. There's a lot that goes into this. Like, you have to be way more strict with bookkeeping, compliance. There's so much that goes into it, and you don't want to handle it the wrong way and get audited by the IRS, have to pay a bunch of penalties and fees and all that bad stuff. So if you have an accountant that you work with that can help you with this, they can help you with the bookkeeping, the payroll, because you have to set up payroll as well. You're essentially going to be an employee for your company, so your company is going to pay you a salary. Then you could select this option here and just make sure you're going to be working with an accountant that's going to do all this for you. I am doing this for my own, company. However, I work with someone called Collective. It's an online service that, they handle my bookkeeping, they handle my payroll, they handle my compliance, they handle my estimated taxes, they handle all that stuff for me. So again, I have a complete, review video on Collective, covering my personal experience using them so far. There will be a link to it down below in the description. You can simply find it on my channel. So that's really important to remember. If you want to use this option here with Northwest, you need to make sure you have an accountant or a CPA that you can work with. Northwest is not going to handle your bookkeeping, your payroll, your compliance. So, I don't want you to be confused by that, and you can click this option here and actually read it. So you can see here, Northwest is simply going to prepare and obtain your S-Corp election with the IRS. But when your LLC starts making a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, I think this is a very good idea for you to consider. Okay, so next up, you have another option here for premium mail service. So if you select this option here, Northwest is going to handle all of your business's flat mail with unlimited forwarding. So this basically means you're going to have a unique business address and suite number in a real commercial office building, which I think is really cool. And it's a great way to avoid using your home address again if you don't have a physical location. And Northwest is also going to ensure that your mail is securely stored and handled, which is going to reduce, the risk of loss or unauthorized access. So if you're interested in this option here, you can select it. You can scroll down, you can do premium mail forwarding right here. And then we need to select Texas, which we have it selected. And that's what you would want to choose right here. And you can also do delivery method, physical forward or digital scan. So if you do physical forward, then you can see over here, it's going to be $20 for this right here. So if you're interested in it, I think it's a great option. If not, you can simply turn it off. And then we have a couple of other options right here. First, we have a trademark service. So if you're not familiar with a trademark, it's basically going to be a service that is going to protect your brand's name, logo, or your design by registering it with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So you could also do this yourself if you wanted to. However, if you do want to, trademark your brand, name, logo, design, then you can use this service right here. Northwest will help you with it. And essentially what's going to happen is Northwest attorneys will review your trademark and check its eligibility. And then if everything looks good, they will prepare and file your application for you if you decide to use this option. But this option is pretty expensive. Like if you turn it on, you can look over here and you can see that it's going to be $599. But it is an option that Northwest gives you. And then the last option here on this page is a trade name, which is also called a DBA, which is called Doing Business As. So this option here basically allows your business to operate under a different name without creating a new legal entity. So for example, if I wanted to do business under a different name instead of JOSHBURNSTECH LLC, and I wanted to use something like Josh Burns Consulting LLC, then I could simply use this service right here to register a trade name or DBA as Josh Burns Consulting. And that's just basically a way to do business under a different name without having to, create another, legal entity. So if that's something you're interested in, then you could select this option right here with Northwest. Then it's going to be $150 for this right here. And you would simply type in your trade name. So again, whatever you want to do business as, instead of your actual LLC name, you would type that in right here. So again, I think this is a great option that Northwest gives you. It's not something that I'm interested in, but some of you might be. And again, if you have more questions about any of these options here, you could simply call Northwest by calling this number. They can help you and, fully go into detail. Make sure you're selecting the right things. Okay, so on this screen here, that's all I'm going to select is tax ID or EIN, and then I'll go ahead and click continue. Okay, so all we have to do now is simply enter our payment details, go ahead and pay for it, and that's it, we're done. And you can see down here at the bottom, the total cost is going to be $424. Now again, we added on the BOI report compliance, we added on the tax ID, so if you take these two off, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. You're basically just going to be paying for the Northwest basic package, and you're going to be paying for the, Texas processing fee, which is again that $310. But in my opinion, if I was starting a new LLC today, I would add on these two options here. They're both pretty cheap and it frees up some time for me because I don't have to do these myself. And then after you submit your payment, all you have to do is wait for your LLC to be formed. So go ahead and watch out for emails from Northwest. You'll be able to log in to your account on Northwest, and then after your LLC is filed with the state, you can access everything in your Northwest account. So that's going to include things like your Articles of Organization document, your tax ID or EIN, and a lot of other things as well that's really important for your LLC. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to step number 3. And in this step, we're going to create an operating agreement for your LLC. Now, this isn't required by Texas state law. However, it's really important that you create one, in my opinion. So the operating agreement is basically a document that outlines the ownership structure, the management responsibilities, and the operating procedures of your LLC. It also helps prevent misunderstandings from, different people in your business. So if you're not a single member LLC like I am, if you have more than one member in your LLC, the operating agreement is basically going to keep everyone on the same page and clearly define all the different responsibilities, the management structure, all those important things so that everyone is on the same page. You won't have any disagreements or any other issues that could, progressively elevate further than that. The operating agreement is going to keep everyone on that same page. So now that you finish the LLC formation process on Northwest, the operating agreement is actually in a program that you have access to now within your account. And to give you one other option, you can actually download a completely free operating agreement template on Northwest as well. You don't even have to have an account for this and, form your LLC with them. Anyone can download this, and let me show you how to get to that now. Okay, so on this page here, we can simply scroll down, and right here, you're going to see LLC operating agreements. And then you also have single member operating agreement. Now for me, I'm the only member in my LLC. I don't have any other business, partners or anything like that. So this is what I would click right here. And to just show you what this looks like, we can click on this one right here. And there we go. This template is completely free. You can go through it, fill it out by, entering information in here. And then when you're done, you can actually download it and print it. It's really easy to do and it's free. What I'll do is I'll put a link to this down below in the video description for you to make it really easy. So you can go down there and you can get to this webpage. Okay, so now that your LLC has been formed, you have your tax ID or EIN, you've completed the operating agreement. The next step is to open a business bank account and also get a business credit card as well. You don't have to get a business credit card, but I think it's really important to get one. And it's really important to get a business bank account as soon as possible because you don't want your personal transactions and your business transactions commingled together. That creates a huge problem because what could happen is if someone were to sue you for some reason, their lawyer could actually come after your personal items like your home, your car, your personal bank accounts. If your business, transactions, personal transactions are both commingled together, the lawyer can do something that's called piercing the corporate veil. So they're able to pierce the corporate veil, and then that's when they can come after your home, your car, a lot of things that you don't want them being able to come after. Now, it's really important for you to know that to open a business bank account, you have to have your tax ID or EIN. So if you go to a bank and you don't have that, they're not going to let you open a business bank account. You have to form your LLC first, and you have to get that tax ID or EIN before you can open a business bank account. And there are tons of options for business bank accounts. You could even use your personal, bank wherever you do your personal banking. They probably offer business bank accounts as well, and you could use them. If you want to use someone different, like a, more popular bank or service, you could use someone like Bluevine. They have, that's their reputation for business bank accounts. There's American Express, who pretty much everyone knows about. There's Chase Complete Business Banking, and there's a lot of other options like Bank of America. If you want me to create a dedicated video where I basically go through the top business bank accounts and what they can offer to you, then go ahead and leave a comment down below on this video and let me know. And as I mentioned earlier, I would also recommend getting a business credit card as well, so you can run all your business expenses through it. It's really good for that. A lot of these cards will offer things like cash back points, travel points. So, it makes sense to go ahead and use that. And also from my experience, there's a lot of different types of like software and subscriptions I use for my business where you can't enter a bank account number to, pay for those things. And in that situation, having a business credit card really comes in handy. So if you use an accountant, they're probably going to make that recommendation to you. That's the first person that actually told me to get a business credit card. It was my accountant or CPA. And just like business bank accounts, there are so many options for business credit cards as well. In the next step, I strongly recommend hiring an accountant or CPA for your business as well. They can do a lot of great things and give you great advice on things like estimated tax payments, which I pay every single quarter. to avoid having to pay penalties at the end of the year. So that's one thing they can help you with. And they could also make sure that, you're doing all the best practices for your business finances as well and taking advantage of, everything tax related. I've personally worked with a local accountant in my area since I started my business, and she's helped me out tremendously, to say the least. And it's something I strongly recommend, not only from a financial perspective, but also from a compliance perspective as well. You definitely want the help from them. And as I mentioned before, I now work directly with Collective to manage my S-Corp election. And there's a link down below in the video description if you want to check them out. I have a full tutorial on my channel, but if you're just starting your LLC, you went through the process in this video of forming it, you're not really making much money yet, then what I would recommend doing is just finding a local accountant that you can work with in your area, or you could find, one online that you could also work with. So in the next step, I also recommend that you look into getting business insurance as well. Most businesses have liabilities, and it's better to be prepared for those than not. And that's where business insurance can help you. And just like business bank accounts, business credit cards, there are so many options for business insurance as well. Now, I just, recommend Googling it and looking it up. I'm actually in the process of considering switching my business insurance, and I'll go ahead and show you who I'm considering. Here it is right here, and there's the website. So I did some research, and they really seem like one of the best companies for business insurance based on reviews, feedback, and all of those things. I don't have any affiliation with this company. It doesn't matter if you use them or not. It's not going to benefit me in any way. It's just someone that I'm looking into potentially switching to. You can go ahead and get a quote for business insurance, and that's what I plan to do. The company I'm using now, they've been all right. However, I feel like I can get a better service from someone else. But again, there are so many options for business insurance. Simply go to Google, go to ChatGPT, type in, top business insurance companies, and that's the best way to go ahead and decide. Okay, so moving on to step number 7, I recommend creating a website and social media accounts for your business. Both of these are extremely important to have, especially the business website, because, you need customers or potential clients, whatever it may be, you need them to be able to find your business. And that's why you need a business website. And they can also contact you from there as well. You can have a contact form that they can fill out, and that's how you can potentially get leads. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, I just uploaded a 4-hour course showing you how to create a WordPress website. Now, I recommend that you go through that course. It's going to help you set up a website. You can choose a template. It's really easy to do. You don't have to have any coding knowledge, any HTML. You can simply get a template, customize it, drag stuff around. It's really meant for beginners. Anyone can do it. That video is actually going to walk you through registering the domain name. And one other thing that's really important that it will show you is how to set up a business email. So you can have that hosted on Hostinger. It's really easy to set up. I show you exactly how to do it in that video. And it's really important that you have that set up. So again, clients, customers, whoever it may be, they have a way to contact you. And I also think that creating content either on a blog website or a YouTube channel or even both is a great idea for any business. It's the best thing I've ever decided to do for my business. My YouTube channel has helped me in so many ways, not only from the content that I create on the channel and the freelance side of things as well. It's helped me out a lot. It's helped me get clients, and I've made a lot of money from my channel in so many different ways. In the beginning, you're not going to feel comfortable. It's going to take a long time for you to feel even remotely comfortable, and I still work on getting better every single video, and I've been doing this for a long time. So don't be discouraged. It just takes time. You're going to get better, and it's going to pay off long term, I promise. And when you create your website, you could also set up a blog. Now, a blog is another great way that you can get organic traffic to your website, bring in more customers, bring in more potential clients that you can work with. So having a blog website and a YouTube channel are two great ways that you can get traffic to your business. And then you have all the other social media options as well, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I would go ahead and create accounts on pretty much every one of those. Okay, so the next step involves Texas tax and regulatory obligations. So each year, you'll need to file a Texas franchise tax report and a public information report as well. The Texas franchise tax is basically a fee that businesses pay for the privilege of, being able to operate in the state. And revenue from the franchise tax, it basically helps support things like Texas infrastructure, public safety, and education. It's calculated based on the revenue of your business, and as of 2025, businesses with annual revenues that are below 2.47 million are not required to pay the franchise tax, but they still have to file a report to inform the state of their revenue status. So whether your business is generating 2.47 million and above or way less than that, it doesn't matter which one, you still have to file the report so you can inform the state of your revenue status. The report is due annually by May 15th, starting from the year after your LLC is formed. And the public information report is another annual filing that's required by the state of Texas, and the purpose of it is to keep public records updated about your LLC. In this report, you're going to provide information about your company's management and ownership as well. It doesn't matter if you pay a franchise tax or not. You have to file this report regardless. It's something you have to file. So you can file the franchise tax report and the public information report both online. But if you want to make things way easier, then if you use Northwest in this video, you can simply reach out to their support and they can help you get things filed as well. And just like the franchise tax report, the public information report is also due annually by May 15th. So it's important to remember that both of these reports are extremely, extremely important to file in the state of Texas, and not doing so can have some pretty negative consequences. So please don't forget to file them. Okay, so the last step is to obtain any, necessary business licenses and permits that you might need to do business in the state of Texas. So depending on your business activities and location, you might need to acquire specific business licenses and permits at the local, state, or even federal level. So the Texas Business Licenses and Permits Guide, which you can see right here, provides a lot of helpful information, and you can simply scroll down through here and look at different types of businesses and see, any licenses and permits that you might need. Now, another thing you can do, which I recommend, is you can reach out to your city or county, government office, and you can, ask them directly if you need a specific license or permit to, conduct your business in Texas. And if you want to take it a step further, which I definitely recommend, I think it's going to be well worth the money. What I would recommend doing is finding a lawyer, in your local area in Texas, and then hire them to review your LLC and identify any specific licenses or permits that you're going to need for your business. So reach out to your local, government office, either in your county or your state, get a lawyer, have them review your LLC. That's going to cover you. So for the next steps after watching this video, I would highly recommend creating a website for your business. And again, you might want to consider S-Corp election if your business is making at least $60,000 a year or more. And the two videos linked on the screen right now can help you out with both of them. So as always, thank you so much for being here. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.